Hey everybody, welcome back to Mission Accomplished. I'm Matt.
I'm Mike.
And today we're going to do a review of the whole series of Locke and Key from Netflix. I got a little time and was able to catch up with the show.
Yeah.
So we're going to review the whole thing. What we're going to do first is have a no spoiler, just kind of vague discussion about how we feel about it. And then we'll give you a warning when we're going to go into the spoilers. All right?
All right.
So, Mike, what did you think?
Okay. So this show is very difficult to discuss without giving away spoilers. We just, before we started recording, we just said it to each other.
Yeah, I think we actually were,
I think it's one of the things we're going to have to put out there because the way the story is told is that there's some scenes that it's just like, moving along. But that's just because, on the second watch is how I'm feeling about that.
I mean, there's, no matter what, there's some times where you just have to give some exposition.
Yeah. And I do that sometimes, and I think they do it well. But overall, it's a great series. It kept me engaged the whole time. Everything that ends up happening is like I said, it's a story beat, and it's a plot point. There's no, red herrings, really.
Right.
Or if there is red herrings, it gets tied into it at the end. Mm-hmm. But overall, it's a great first season of one of the best comics I've read in the past, decade.
Yeah, yeah. I absolutely agree. I thought this was fantastic. Besides the actual story, the cinematography is excellent. There's a lot of little things that you might not notice if you're not paying attention. There's a hell of a lot of bokeh in this show.
Yeah.
Some of the best bokeh I've seen in TV in a long time. Mm-hmm. There's technical stuff that's just very, very sound. The cast, the portrayals are excellent. I mean,
I wasn't on board in episode 1 and 2 because I read the comics, and Tyler's bigger, more burly. Kinsey is a little bit more punky than she is. And then Bodhi, but then again, like you said, they kind of get into the characters, and I was on board. By episode 3, I was on board, and I was like, all right, I can agree with all these. Yeah. The only one I really still am kind of is the mom, is Nina. Okay. I don't really...
She's supposed to be a little bit more...
Well, she's supposed to look like Vossi, really. The character Vossi looks more like the mom in the comics than this mom. But that's a nitpick. Actress is doing fine.
Yeah, she's
I'm just what she looked like in the comic compared to what she looks like in the show. That's
not having read the comic. It had no effect on my enjoyment of the show.
Most people won't even give a shit, and I don't really necessarily care that much. It's just
and not only was technically a very sound show. There's a couple CGI things here and there, but again, little nitpicks. Mm-hmm. But conceptually, this is a fantastic world to plumb.
Yeah.
You have I think everybody knows that most of this takes place in a house, so I'm not spoiling anything.
Or the ground surrounding the house.
Yeah, and so it has elements that you see in Harry Potter, elements that you see in Narnia, elements that you see in fantasy in general, but with a bit of a horror twist. Mm-hmm. They do interesting things with camera angles to elevate your sense of fear. So a few times I noticed where they're really trying to coach you emotionally with music.
Yeah.
And there was 1 or 2 times where I was okay, they went a little too hard with the coaching, and it kind of where I was
takes you out of the scene.
I'm listening to music
rather than you're listening to music and seeing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's a couple times when they did for tension and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really high points of tension, but it just pushed it a little bit beyond. Again, minor nitpick.
Yeah.
Minor nitpick. But overall, this is it's really fun to watch. It gets dark, but it doesn't stay dark.
But there's elements of occult, and especially towards the end of the season.
Right.
Towards the end of the season is really when all the plot points and all the plot beats
everything ties up.
Yeah, it starts tying itself up in that bow, and it does a damn good job of it. And
it's pretty much from the second half of episode 8 to the end of episode 10. You're just tying things up, or things are being revealed to you. So I mean, that's where these conversations and plot points come to their fruitions, and it's all very it's all done very well, and there's a good. It's just very enjoyable.
Yeah, as a reader of the comics, it's nice to see that these writers really took their time.
Yeah.
In picking up the comic plot, cutting it up, and reorganizing everything for TV in a way where all of it worked. It works smooth. It works real smooth. And as like I said, as the one of the comic people who've read the comics, the fact that they can do that, like, well fucking done.
Yeah.
Like some of the best TV I've watched. This is like, you know what? This is what I'm gonna say. I will compare this to season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Ooh, wow.
Okay? Because season 1, Game of Thrones, was... I mean, this magic is in your face, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if you read the first book is, of Game of Thrones, and you watched the first season, you were like, holy crap!
Yeah, it was like...
Is this directly lifted from the pages of G.R.R. Martin?
Yep.
And I feel... and the difference with Game of Thrones is that they didn't, at that point, they weren't like picking and choosing stuff too much and flipping it around time-wise. But, here where they do it, it really, really works. It's definitely, it's something that I was amazed by, to be quite honest. Because there's so many goddamn plot points.
There is.
And the reorganization, just the logistics of it. Just the logistics of it and how they're going to film it and other ideas. Mind-blowing. And I'm glad.
And the reason I was looking down is because I remember the series is developed, and one of the lead writers is Carlton Cuse. Carlton Cuse.
I think we mentioned this in a brief moment last episode.
So, I mean, if it feels a little bit like Lost, that's where Carlton Cuse really made his waves. So you can see building that depth of world. Hopefully, we don't have the same type of Lost ending, but but I think what you have with like a show when you put some, like, I feel like if Lost existed nowadays, it would be Netflix or Amazon Prime. It'd be 12, 13 episodes, and a lot of that extraneous
BS storyline stuff would
falls to the wayside. You know.
None of that in Lock and Key. Let me tell you.
None of that. Anyway, Colin Cuse has done a lot. Like, he's writing for Jack Ryan. So I mean, this guy's got some cred. And I think looking at this show, this is shows like some of his ability. You get that. I mean, within by the second episode, you feel like there's a little bit more depth, and there's things that they are just swiping past, like real fast in episode 1, just to get some of the premise out there, the keys, the doors, and then I think by episode 2, and then even more so episode 3, they kind of start slowing down a little bit. The conversations start developing a little bit longer. You're a little bit more immersed into the show, so you're not as not thrown off, like where you're taken out, but caught off guard by changes in perspective in the show. But
by episode 4, 5, and 6, the story is definitely chugging along, and you're on board. And then 7, 8, and 9 are kind of like the beginning of the wrap up of what's happening, and then 10. Like, the climax of the story is within the first, 10 minutes of the last episode. And then it's a lot of, epilogue kind of stuff for what happened. But you get a lot of information in an epilogue, and you get the big twist.
The big twist.
Yeah, and I think that now that we've mentioned that, we should
probably just say...
I think we're both in agreement that this is mission accomplished.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Absolutely. Please...
watch this.
Yeah.
It's good.
This is highly enjoyable TV. Like I said, there's a good touch of horror, but a good bit of fantasy. Very, I think it's even older kid friendly, maybe. Tween.
This. This is what I'll say. The sexual stuff in the show.
Oh yeah, that's
isn't really that bad.
There's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. So I don't. I mean, if you want to keep your kids from that.
Yeah, I was talking more of the horror elements.
No, horror. Yeah. I mean, this is like Harry Potter level horror.
Oh yeah, there's no blood.
There's no. I mean, and when there is blood, it's just like
it's like
they've seen the kids have
right
9, 10, 11, 12.
Yes,
9, 10, 11, 12. Like definitely 12
absolutely.
can handle this.
Absolutely,
and maybe even like 7, 6, 7, 8. If you got like a real kind of a, I like scary, haunted houses kid, then they'd love this.
Yeah, I think so too. It has that not Dark Tower. What's that Disney? What used to be the Disney the Hotel of Horror or whatever?
Haunted Mansion. Oh, the Haunted Mansion inside the thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Stuff like that. It's like
it's whimsy. It's much more whimsy than horror.
Yeah.
It's much more whimsical than it is horrific.
Yeah.
Like that's. Okay, I think now it's where we're going to get the spoilers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, spoiler animation. Hey. So we're back. It's time for spoilers. That we just hopefully did an animation that you're impressed with. Hey. And so yeah, spoiler conversation. And to begin it, holy shit! So Gabe is Lucas is Dodge, and they're all the same person.
Getting right to the meat of it.
He is getting around. Let me tell her. I don't know what to call.
It's a demon, so I think
it's a demon that's attached to a person. Or did she bring back the demon? Yeah, I guess she brought back the demon.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. All right. And we're gonna end up seeing what the demon looks like. I hope.
Oh God.
At some point when it gets to that point, and it just. Okay. I don't want to. Yeah, even though we're in spoilers.
It jumped into
spoilers from the next arc. But that's the thing. So they end up getting the door open at the end.
The Omega door.
Yeah, and you look back there, and it's just like this blue,
orange,
ephemeral, ethereal, wispy, nothing, not Lovecraftian at all.
It's like
disappointing. I wanted spiky tentacle monsters.
I mean, first of all, I got into the premise of the show really quickly. The keys are super cool. Like the head key where they go inside Bodhi's head, and it's inside out in there, basically, visually. They introduce his glee, which then gives you foreshadowing for Kinsey to have her fear. At one point, Kinsey goes into her own head and lets her fear out, and then kills her and buries her.
Yeah, she brings She brings a serial killer's bag into her head. She puts this bag together that if anybody else is doing it, you'd be you're gonna kill somebody?
Yeah, right.
And that's exactly what she's gonna do. So she goes into her own head and kills her fear, which really just subdues it.
Right.
And then she puts it in the bag she brought and drags it back out of her head and buries it in the ground. But buries it in the ground
3 inches.
But it can easily just sit up at any point in time. But no, it waits. It waits until she comes back with Sam when he gets to. Yes. Oh God, yeah.
It needed a little nappy.
I didn't mind the flashbacks in this, and then they led right up into current day stuff, and it wasn't I hate it when they'll give you a flashback that doesn't pay off until half an hour, 45 minutes later. They tell the story. They tell the story here. That's what they do.
They definitely are focused on the plot, and then everything else is added, built on top of it. Everything drives the plot.
So is this a plot-driven story or a character-driven story?
Right now, it's plot-driven.
Even though a character is the one who initiated the plot.
To me, it's plot-driven because they're not really diving into each individual character. There's dialogue, but it's not sustained dialogue.
Okay, gotcha.
All
right.
It's Rogue One versus Solo.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
To me, I mean, but executed well. Mm-hmm. It's executed well where you don't, but you're getting driven by that plot pretty much immediately.
The whole
time. When I first watched it, I felt in episode 1, finding the keys seemed to be just finally finding badly hidden Easter eggs. He hears a whisper and he's turns around. There's a key.
There's in the painting. Or...
There's not a lot to finding the keys, and I'm wondering if part of it's perception.
In ongoing seasons, they could flash back to
other people
having the keys, what they did with it, and why they ended up where they ended up. Like, there's way more, like, even they had the Omega key. That's like the most important key, right?
Right, and the one you know pretty much the least about.
Yeah. Well, it just opens up the door. That's really what it opens up the black door. Now, during the show they talk about the Whispering Iron. That's the stuff that's shooting out. Now, what they haven't said, and this is spoilers, but you can put it, like as you saw, it hits the wall and falls.
Yeah, and it's like
and becomes like inert.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to represent like metal.
Okay.
That like it's inert metal. That's what the keys are made out of.
Oh, okay.
So the keys are made out of this stuff that is shot out of the black door, and there's like a whole couple of comics, like one or two, devoted to diving back.
Right.
Because there's a key that lets you go back in time and observe, not affect, just observe things. So they're definitely going to end up doing that.
Oh man,
it's going to be so good.
And the thing is something like this, like you have the comic book for all that type of cool stuff, but anything you can think of is possible. You want them to have like like to have the ghost door. All this stuff is really really cool, and if they wanted to, the Netflix team could really go like away from what they want to do, mix stuff together, change things around, and because of the setting, it's totally acceptable.
Yeah.
Because you don't really need to describe the magic. And I think that's one of the cool things about this first season is that you don't really know what this magic is.
Yeah. And they still haven't really told you.
Yeah.
I just spoiled it for, whoever that it's the stuff that shoots out of.
Yeah.
And so it gets absorbed by people because it's actually I guess a demon.
Yeah.
So each one of these keys is like a demon with magical powers.
Yeah, right.
Like it's like a dead demon with magical powers.
Right.
And I'm excited to see them getting into the keys being made in the past.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then they also do make their own keys, but that's way, way at the end.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the middle episodes of this they didn't drag on. There's a lot of high school stuff to try to establish these relationships. There's a lot of like boyfriend-girlfriend drama between Kinsey and Scott and Tyler and Jackie.
Right.
And then Tyler and Dodge, who he doesn't know is Dodge.
Right.
That's another thing, like, oh, that's so disappointing when they got the Anywhere key, and then he immediately loses it, like, the next scene when he finally gets to Sam. It's like, oh, fuck.
Well, I think they're trying to play the shell game with who has the keys.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, at one point, what's Ellie's son's name? Duncan?
Mm-hmm.
Duncan holds up a bag, and he's got, like, all these keys.
Oh no, Ellie's son is Rufus. Duncan is the. Well, yeah, well no, he holds up a bag, and those bags are Lucas/Dodge's keys, and he keeps under the floorboard. Yeah, and he's like, he thinks I'm stupid, but I'm not. This is where all of his keys are. And that's when they go back later. But I don't think Ellie actually takes them and gives. Or no, she does. She goes and takes them and gives them, but it doesn't matter because.
Right. It
doesn't matter because it's the whole thing's a ruse. The whole final battle of the season is a ruse.
Yep.
It's not even the real battle. It's not even. It's just to put them where. It's literally just to put them exactly where where Dodge wants them.
Yep.
And goddamn, Gabe is Dodge and Lucas.
Ellie getting thrown into.
And Ellie, and
Ellie as Dodge.
What you're wondering, like, is she ever going to come back or?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what? And here's another thing. I think part of the reason they got rid of Rufus, because they make a move to Nebraska or some shit, is because there's like a comic or two devoted to him, and like how he perceives the world, and like everybody's very militaristic and stuff, like like the way that's why he talks like that. Yeah. And it's like, but everybody's like big and hulking. Like they'd have to give everybody like those silicone like bodysuits. Yeah. Like even the women, it's very funny. I'm just looking forward to more. I mean, we could really get into. We're just having a free. Yeah. We're not trying to say like what happens and like spoil the whole thing. We just want to have a free conversation about.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much cool stuff happening in the show. I mean, like the stuff with the music box, and them commanding Eden to do all that stuff.
What happens to the music box, man? Why don't they end up using it on Dodge? Like,
does Dodge have it?
I don't think she has
Where
it.
where that's one of the ones I've lost track of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I lost track.
The last time I saw
no. Kinsey has the music box because at the very last, one of the last moments of the last episode is where the new keeper of the key, when Bodhi is writing the letter to Rufus, where the new keeper of the keys, she's got the music box open and all of the keys that she's got are in there, and it's the music box key.
Okay.
So, no, she's got that.
Okay.
But I don't know. I guess it's because she was tied the fuck up. Oh, no, that was a different episode. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
No, I'm just saying, like, but yeah, they're all tied up around the kitchen table at one point by Sam.
Yeah.
Creepy guy, still not gone. Hanging around the house, hanging around the Locke.
Ghost.
Yeah, he can really only stay in Matheson.
Yeah.
Because I think that the Locks used to own all of it, and now they're just like relegated to their...
But to come alive again...
Mm-hmm.
His body would have to be in front of that door, and the door would have to be
not necessarily his body.
A body.
A body.
A body.
A body.
You could just jump in the body if it's there.
Yeah, and no one realizes that he did that.
Right. Right.
Because no one was in that room when he walked through
huge. That. Yeah.
And he opened the door and then
he stepped out.
And then the police closed it when the locks are out front.
Probably moving the body.
Yeah, they're moving the body. They assume that he died from the stab wound.
Yep.
From Dodge killing him. Mm-hmm. So he's just a pawn. He realizes that he's just a pawn as well.
Yeah, the one little thing that I kind of took me a little off guard was how quickly they killed the principal or dean.
Mr. Ridgway.
Mr. Ridgway. Like he was in what, like an episode and a half?
He was in a couple episodes, like 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that.
He was trying to connect with Tyler.
He's trying to connect with Tyler, and then Nina comes and talks to him a couple of times about stuff, but she's asking questions about when he taught her husband.
Exactly.
And his friends. Yeah. And about the scar.
Right.
He mentions the scar, whatever, and then like he gets killed by Lucas.
Right.
Which back when we saw that scene, didn't Ellie go in and say Lucas so and so, and then she can tell he's fucking evil like immediately. But, like, and then she brings him the identity key and gives it to him. Like, all of this I'm so glad she got thrown in.
Yeah.
To be honest. Like, I don't feel bad for her at all.
Trying to figure out Ellie is weird because she's obviously caring. Like, she cares about, what's his name? Rufus.
Yeah, but Kinsey even asks her. He says, why did you do this?
Right.
You're the whole reason that this has happened to my family.
Yeah, she's just like, she's can't get the events of that day out of her head, and... I guess she was deeply connected to Lucas.
So I'm going to say that I'm going to be surprised if they get more than 3 seasons out of material for this.
So
even though they're already changing the story up, adding in 2 demons.
It just depends on what they want to do. Like the fear you would have is that they'd use all the book material but not finish the story
outside of the book. Established ending.
Right. Or like basically they pull a Game of Thrones where they're just like they open up all these plot lines and then
close none of them, except for the major one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say none of that mattered. Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Well, that's the thing, man. I don't have high hopes. I'll be quite honest. I don't have high hopes because this is what's happened with
Man in a High Castle.
Like all of the, you know what?
Lost.
Maybe Netflix is the only. No, because they've canceled. They've canceled series out of nowhere with no ending. Netflix has done the same damn thing.
Oh yeah.
But like,
well, they also let shows run on way too long too. Sometimes.
Yeah, well, they've done both. So
Hemlock Grove, I'm looking at you.
How many seasons was that?
I think it was 4.
Really?
And it shouldn't have been 1. It was bad.
I watched the first episode, the first season, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Was it about vampires or werewolves or something?
Werewolves and vampires. Ugh. It was very Twilighty.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Oh yeah, that's why. Okay, it was right around that.
But then it was very like.
Yeah.
In some places, it was like extremely disturbing. You know.
Okay.
Trippy, kind of like disturbing.
So yeah, that's the one thing I'm going to nitpick about is when they get the black door open or the blue door, whatever you want to call it, the Omega door. Well, the Omega door. When they get the Omega door open with the Omega key, and they open it up and they're looking in, I wasn't. It's supposed to be this mind-bending, like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's supposed to be this like other dimensional thing.
It's like a blue background with like some
with like ephemeral, like a ethereal kind of like wispy, just energy. Layers of
Yeah.
She gets sucked in there, and I'm just like, good for you. Good riddance, Ellie.
Yeah.
I'm glad she, like I said a couple minutes ago, I'm glad that...
Well, she definitely doesn't deserve any type of rescue.
No.
You know, like, I'm just wondering how they're going to use that. She was an interesting character in the season. Very conflicted, but obviously, like, almost like, I felt like almost so much fear in her that, like...
Well,
you know,
yeah, we find out from the...
But then she's twisted, too.
Why?
Because she goes into the house to find the crown of shadows.
But she does that for Luke. Okay, like... But at that point, we find out that she has had, like, Rufus and her lives have been threatened by
Yeah, no,
by
I know.
So, we find out after that, like I said, the penultimate or last episode or whatever, in a flashback, that she's been doing this whole thing under duress pretty much the whole time.
Right.
Like, right after Randall gets killed and right after they move in, Lucas shows up. Because he gets out, because he gets the annual key.
Yeah.
And it's the first, so within the first, right after the first episode, when Dodge gets out, one of the first places she goes to after getting a brand new wardrobe, which is weird because if she has the identity key, why does she have to go and get a brand new wardrobe? Because when she's Gabe walking up the stairs and she's wearing, she could just, whatever, another nitpick, doesn't matter.
Oh.
Anyway.
Gaping plot hole.
Is it
where do clothes come from?
Right? Like it is. Like or is it because like you have to be wearing the clothes that you want to change into to jet? Whatever. Okay, I can deal with that.
I think you probably have to change and get dressed.
She doesn't change her fucking outfit for like 7 months. This story takes place over like 4 or 5 months. She never changes her outfit once. I hope you guys realize that.
She looks great though.
I'm sure she smells great too. Like.
There's gotta be a key for that too.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm glad we gave this a mission accomplished and we're both in agreement.
Yeah. I'm like, this is one of those shows where I feel like as soon as it ended, I want more. Mm-hmm. Like I want to watch season 2 now.
Well, you should read the comic now. You should read the comic now so that you can get excited.
I should do a lot of things, but then I agree. I should read the comic.
Okay. Well, you said that. I was like, fuck you, Mike. I'll do what I want.
Yep. So
if they move as quickly as they did through season 2 with this story, they can definitely pick and choose. You know, I will say they have enough for 3 seasons.
That's what this feels like. It feels like no matter what, it's 3 seasons.
I think that's what it should be.
You know, because it's too dense.
It's too dense, and there's already bookends.
Yeah.
And the way that they ended it, and the way that they wrap it up, and the way that history repeats itself is just, it's poetic and it's done well. I like it.
Now you built the stakes. Now you can increase the spectacle proportionately.
Yeah.
And then you have the resolution in season 3. You know, the complete resolution. You figure out how to either make the keys inert or use them to...
There's so many things that need to happen that, like, they need to find the angel key, they need to find all these different keys. Like the giant key, the kaiju key.
And they could go back and forth in different storylines and they could be developing that past storyline and, like, you know, stuff like that. So I think they... To me, this feels like something that's going to have 3 seasons. And I think... Depending on how well it's received and where the story is, they have the potential of adding more to it where they could stretch it.
Well, let me tell you that...
That's where you lose your confidence.
Here's why I'm losing my confidence. I'll tell you why. Because they already have it set up for the comics to continue the story on from the show. Okay? So, the blah, 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 the story happens. Okay? Let's just say that there is this thing called the key house key.
Okay.
And he literally puts it into the ground in front of the key house and turns it. Mm. And the key house does this weird flip where it's just a new version of not a new version, just the same version of the key house, but like
different,
brand new.
Okay.
As in like just moved in, just built. Mm-hmm. Like they could have done this the whole fucking time. Like as in like when they it needs so much work. No, it doesn't. Go out front, turn the key, done. Everything's brand new. And all the holes in the walls, brand new. All that shitty drywall in the basement holding up the room or covering up the room, gone.
Yeah.
Like everything's the way it should be. and so, or the way that you would want it or whatever. So that's what they did on this like standalone comic.
Oh, okay.
Like 7 years after the comic's over.
Mm-hmm.
This past like it's like 2 or 3 weeks ago it happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So they're already like, oh, okay, it's gonna get a 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th season.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go. I'm gonna go write these comics real quick.
Yeah.
Put it out with the because we can obviously pick and choose all the art that we already have and make new boards and stuff real easily. And that's where I'm starting to lose confidence is in that they've already set it up. Joe Hill and Rodriguez have already set it up to take the story further if we need to.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Because the story's done and it's good. Leave it be.
But you don't know that. Do you like all the Harry Potter movies?
No.
You don't like? Do you like any of them?
Yes.
Is it like the end that you don't like, or the beginning? Or
It's
just
a number of them.
varies by.
I mean, I'd have to go watch them all again, but I remember enjoying like the last 2 movies. But it's because Voldemort was finally a thing.
Right.
He was finally on screen.
Yeah.
For 3 movies at that point, or whatever, 2 movies. So that's why I liked it.
No, I agree. I generally like all the. I think I'm not a huge fan of 1 and 2 just because like they're just a little too young.
Yeah. Yeah.
But by 3 and I'm the same way with the books. I didn't actually even read 1, 2, or 3. I started with
Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
So did I by accident, and then I went back and read the other ones. That was like my freshman year of college.
Yeah.
I read the Goblet of Fire.
I just skipped them. I still haven't read them.
Yeah.
Because like they were so small.
It's the same exact thing as what you're seeing on the movies.
I know.
That's what
I've heard. And that's why.
And then
it's just one of those things where I think with a setting like Key House, and the ideas of the keys and this family, and all these different keys that they already have developed in the comics, and then any that the producers want to create, and I mean, like, and then there's a lot of cool like throwbacks to like old horror and stuff in this, and it's really 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 well done, and I think I'm probably going to rewatch this again and read the comic and then look forward to season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think you should read the comic, and everybody else out there should read the comic as well, because they deserve to get as much recognition and money
absolutely
as this TV show does.
Yeah, and they own that. It's not like it's owned by DC and they wrote it for
So they
DC.
own this already, so they are getting them. So they're renting out the IP to someone.
They own the IP.
Oh, all right. I didn't know that. Did not know that.
Yeah,
I'm glad then. Never mind. Dude, watch the show. Just buy, I don't know, whatever.
Right.
They're getting their money.
Yeah, they're getting paid.
I just know that sometimes comic creators can get a little
it's not
financially.
Yeah, well, that's IDW. Like if you write for Marvel, if you write for DC, and it's published under their banner, it's their product. You don't own that. But IDW, Image, other things they have, they publish creator-owned titles.
They're more of a platform rather than a.
They're a publisher, not a intellectual property giant.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you guys heard it here.
Yeah.
From Mission Accomplished Media, Lock and Key is worth watching. So please do it.
Absolutely, mission accomplished
Boom.
On the whole series.
So thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll probably get some stuff up on Patreon pretty soon, so check that out. When we do that, we'll let you know. There's that giveaway video I'm going to put right up here in my face, right here. And that's going to be it. So see you guys later. Peace out.
See ya.
Bye.